Good morning, Avon. I'm Colin McCorkadale. Thanks for watching the Oriole Report. We begin with an updated look at COVID numbers. As of Monday, there are 5,875,254 cases in the United States, 87,942 in Indiana, and 2,180 in Hendricks County. Now let's take a look at our top story. This is BTS's new single, Dynamite. This single is the group's first track completely in English. Dynamite's reached more than 1 million views in just 24 hours, breaking the record for the most viewed music premiere on YouTube, surpassing the follow-up K-pop group Blackpink's record of 3 million. The colorful music video showcases the concepts with retro hairstyles, props, and attire. BTS will be performing Dynamite for the first time at an MTV Music Awards on August 30th. Moving on to our weather today, we have scattered thunderstorms with a high of 85 degrees and a low of 71 degrees. Tomorrow, there will be more scattered thunderstorms with a high of 83 degrees and a low of 69 degrees. As we enter the weekend, expect nicer weather with Saturday and Sunday with both partial cloudiness and a high of 82 and a low of 60 degrees. Sports today, boys soccer is at a home starting 6 p.m. We also have girls volleyball at 6 p.m. here at Avon. The boys and girls cross country teams will be away. Tomorrow is the boys tennis interventional at the Center Grove, and our boys football team takes on Ben Davis here at home tomorrow. Kickoff at 7 p.m. Be sure to check Schoology for updated information from Ms. Hollensinger about attending the games. And if you love watching sports, you might want to be a part of our Avon Action Sports Department. You could be trained to help with other student streams. Schoology messaged Ms. Tower for more information, and now let's take a look at this year's first episode of Avon Action.
You could be the hero, you could get the gold. Breaking all the records they thought never could be broke. Yeah, do it for your people, do it for your pride. Are you ever gonna know if you never even try? Do it for your country, do it for your name. Cause there's gonna be a day when you're standing in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. And the world's gonna know your name. Yeah. Cause you burn with the brightest flame. Yeah. And the world's gonna know your name.
For the COVID-19, our guidelines from the HSAA, there's multiple and they're changing all the time, but some of the things we can talk about right now is we have groupings of our players by position that we try to keep together before practice and then after practice. When the players come out to the building to get ready for practice, we'll flip-flop days, but for example, today offense will be in the locker room first with the locker spaced in between, while the defense is in the meeting room, and I can knock out attendance that way, and then they can get their jerseys, and then we flip-flop groups. Of course, they're bringing their own water bottles. They are to come masked.
For our sport, it's not a lot different. It's mostly pregame protocol. We don't switch sides. Our players have to have masks on when they're not playing, but basically, since we're a non-contact sport, there isn't a lot of changes.
Socially distant, obviously wearing a mask at all times unless we're actually on a run. So if we're doing drills, if we're doing meeting, anything like that, we gotta have a mask on the whole time. For meets, there's not a whole lot of differences right now for us.
HSAA has changed rules a lot, but the main thing is kind of like everybody else, wear a mask pretty much at all times. A lot of hand washing, can't share water bottles, and washing clothes as soon as practice is over.
Right now, like everybody's, hoping that we can get on the field and on the court and back playing. So right now they want to make sure everybody's wearing masks, obviously washing hands and social distancing when you can. Now obviously playing a sport is tough to social distance, but when you're in a strenuous activity, you're allowed to take off your mask. But when you're not, you're on the sideline, they want masks up. Coaches on the sideline, mask up, so we can slow the spread, hopefully get back to playing.
There is, in my mind, I feel like a great opportunity to be able to play our football season this year. But with the virus and all the policy, it's always subject to change, but we're very hopeful and we're preparing just like we get to play.
We're hoping so. That's the plan.
Now our season's good to go for each meet. A lot of those meets have talked about limiting how many people can compete. So either only having varsity meets or limiting how many people we can put in each one of those meets. And that's depends on the whole school. So we're still waiting to hear back from most of them.
I don't think anyone really knows if we're going to have a season. We are hopeful. So please wear your mask. Talking to you, wear your mask so we can possibly have a season. But we're hoping for the best. So we'll see here in a couple months.
We're hopeful. Hopeful to have a season. I think it's banking on fall sports. I think everybody's waiting to see what happens. Obviously, golf started, and that's a low-impact sport. So we're waiting to see what happens with football, obviously, and volleyball, and then we'll go from there. And the fall sports go ahead, and we'll see what happens with winter. But we're hopeful.
I'm most excited to get to play some football. You know, and like I mentioned, there's a fine line in there. We want the number one priority, safety for our players as well as our coaches. But we're excited to get the opportunity to be together as a team right now. And hopefully that continues and we get some kind of a football season in this year.
You know, masks aren't fun to wear, but we're hoping that we do get to have a season and go back to kind of normal competition and normal life.
Excited about this group that we have coming back. I think a couple years they've been playing now, and I think you know, coming back they know what we expect. They've been in tough games, and so they know what it takes. And so just the camaraderie and continuing to build a team and to see what happens and go from there.
Do you know the students who represent your voice at our school? We caught up with your Avon student government officers. Let's take a look.
I joined student government because I think that student involvement is essential to our community, and I absolutely love volunteering and serving other people. My fun fact is that I've been in student government for the last 4 years of high school, and I've been doing student councils for the last 10 years.
I joined student government because I think I have valuable ideas that can help the school become better, and I want to see our whole school become one and become closer.
I joined student government because I wanted the students to be involved in more events around schools and meet everyone who they've probably never seen or met before. One interesting fact is that I think that I can win an onion ring eating contest because I eat onion rings a lot, so yeah.
I joined student government because I wanted to help plan and contribute to the events for the community and be a voice for the student body.
I joined student government because I thrive off of student involvement.
I joined student government to help advocate for the student voices.
Now, it's return of the video games. Elijah Ibarra brings up today on what to play.
Welcome to Video Games of the Month. I'm your host, Elijah Ibarra, and yet again, I'm doing it in the comfort of my house. And I have a lot of games for you. Just because it's in my house doesn't mean that it's not going to be, will be less in quality, but it doesn't mean the games will be different. The games will be just as good, maybe even better. First game we have is Flight Simulator. This is the newest flight simulator, and the last one was released in 2007. In this game, it takes you into a world of the entire world. They literally took the world and then shrunk it down and then like scaled it so it could be like in a video game. You can visit over 37,000 airports, 2 million cities, 1.5 billion buildings, real mountains, roads, trees, animals, traffic, and much more. You can test your flight skills in night or day with real-time weather, including accurate wind speed and direction, temperature, humidity, rain, and lightning. I put this here as a joke, but like now I kind of want to play it. It sounds like they were packed with stuff. This is out for the PC and the Xbox Series X, not the Xbox One, the Xbox Series X, which comes out this holiday. Next, we have Madden 21. This Madden, they spent a lot of time and a lot of attention to detail on their mechanics for better gameplay on both sides of the ball. On offense, you have the new skill stick to link together clever skill move combos that creates amazing gameplay. And as a ball carrier, you also have new evasive moves such as dead leg and slide hurdles. And with these new mechanics, you can rack up points way easier. However, the offense isn't the only side of the ball that got new mechanics. The defense also has its own version of the skill stake and allows full control and responsiveness with specific pass rush combos, and the tackling was also made more precise with location-based tackling, breakdown tackling, and dive tackling, so you can score easier, but you can also make your opponent go 3 and out easier too, so it's pretty well balanced. This game will be out August 25th for the Xbox Series X, Xbox One, PS4, PS5, and Google Stadia. Next is Wasteland 3. Following the critically acclaimed 2014 Game of the Year winner Wasteland 2, the RPG series that started the post-apocalyptic genre in video games returned with the third installment, Wasteland 3. In Wasteland 3, you control a squad of desert rangers, lawmen, and women in a post-nuclear world trying to rebuild society from the ground up. Over 100 years after the bomb's failure, fighting a losing battle to keep your beloved hometown alive. All the while, you have to decide who to trust in this torn apart land by corruption, intrigue, warring factions, crazed cultists, and cutthroat gangs, and bitter sibling rivalries. Build a reputation for yourself by making decisions that will profoundly impact Colorado, its inhabitants, and the story you experience. This game is out for the PC, PS4, and Xbox One on August 28th. Last but not least is Fast and Furious Crossroads. Fast and Furious Crossroads is an action-adventure role-playing game set in the Fast and Furious universe. Suit up for the high-speed, cinematic, non-stop action in a new chapter of the Fast and Furious series as you hunt down an international crime organization and pump the brakes to their plans. With adrenaline-fueled stunts and heist gadgets, exotic location cards, and heroes from the films, Fast and Furious Crossroads casts you right in the center of the action. And this game is out for the PC and PS4. See, I told you just because I do it from my house doesn't mean it's going to be any less. I'll catch you next time, and so I'll tell you what games come out in September. But in the meantime, and for HS News, I'm Elijah Ibarra.
Today is the virtual activity fair for freshmen, but the link will be out there for everybody on Schoology.
Activities that AHS has to offer. We're going to take a look at this year's virtual activity fair to see what you can get involved in. Let's take a look.
So traditionally the activity fair has been live and we've held it in the gym, and we typically have booths for each of the clubs and activities at school, and those booths kind of show off their club and encourage people to join. As far as clubs, we have right around 50 clubs this year. We typically have just a few more, but several of the clubs have opted this year to not do activities due to trying to keep kids safe. I think kids are most successful when they feel a sense of belonging at school, and being in a club is a very good way to create that sense of belonging. So I think it's important that kids realize the opportunities that are out there to enable them to belong to something. Well, traditionally, my favorite part of the activity fair is watching things like the step team do their dances, and some of the more active clubs. I really love watching African Diaspora, and they typically have videos of their programs they have done. I would just really encourage someone to try something new this year. You know, step out of your box and try a new club and just really get involved.
Don't forget, the virtual activity fair is this Thursday, August 27th during SRT for freshmen. Don't wait to get involved. You can also catch the activity fair on Schoology and learn how you can join these awesome clubs. That sounds so cool. I'll see you all there. For AHS News, I'm Taylor Roof.
Lastly, an update on parking passes. Due to the hybrid schedule, you now must have a parking pass this Friday, August 28th. Detentions could be issued starting Monday for drivers without a pass. That's all for your oral report this week. Mask up and make it an awesome day, Avon.